It started with a vision for how the internet should work, how it could work.
It really should be possible for anyone to just kind of wave their hand and carve out a piece of cyberspace and create a world of their own.
But the technology to achieve such a vision simply did not exist.
There's no way that you can have really high throughput and also have all these security and fairness properties. I was able to convince myself it's not possible. And I set it aside, and it would come back and haunt me, and it would keep nagging at me. And so I would pick it up again and set it aside again. And this kept going for years.
3 years later, Lehman had a breakthrough, the Hashgraph consensus algorithm. In 2015, Manson Lehman founded Swirlds to battle test the algorithm in private permissioned environments. And the following year, Lehman published the technical paper. But in order to realize the vision of a fairer, more secure digital future for all, the world needed a trust layer, a public ledger built on Hashgraph.
Okay, it looks like we are down to the final seconds here.
3, 2, 1. Open access.
The network is open. As of this moment, we have council member nodes online, ready to take transactions from anyone, anywhere in the world.
Since open access, Hedera has witnessed exponential growth on the network, with billions of real-world transactions, hundreds of applications, and tens of thousands of ecosystem developers. The Hedera Council has gone from strength to strength, growing to 29 members on 6 continents, stewarding the network responsibly and ensuring its longevity for generations to come. Hello, future.
Hello, Hedera community, and hello, future. Welcome to the April 2024 community call. This is our first live stream call on YouTube and X, and you can expect the same for the future community calls. I will be your host today. My name is Mika. I'm the community development rep for Hedera at SwirldsLabs. Some of you may know me online as DeFi Girl. This is the first time that I doxed to the community, and I'm super happy to be here with you guys, engaging in such a human way. So today we have an awesome lineup of 2 presenters who will be showcasing 2 different developments on the Hedera network. So first up, we will have Ian, who will walk us through a demo of Hashio DAO. And then we have John, who will talk to us about BankSocial. So he will also give us a demo, as well as share some exciting news. So without further ado, we'll start with some brief introductions from the speakers, starting with Ian. Ian, the floor is yours. Please let us know what you'll be talking about today and give us a brief introduction.
Hi, I can't hear you, so hopefully you can hear me. Just thumbs up. Great. Okay, so I'm Ian. I work in Swirlds as a developer advocate. Thanks, John. And basically, now I can hear you guys. And I'd just like to talk to you about one of the tools that we've built called Hashio DAO. And I've got a bit of time, so I'll just go through it a little bit. And if I'm talking too fast, hopefully you'll be able to stop me. So basically, one of the key things about building a decentralized community is decisioning. Because how do people make decisions? How do you decide on what to do and how to do it? So that's one of the innovations, I think, which happened a couple of years ago, was something called a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization, where people can get together and they can decide things and run an organization that way. So what we've done is we've basically decided to take some of the best practices from out on other chains, and we've basically built a 100% on-chain solution to do voting and treasury management type functions. So by this, the reason why we're doing this is everything is on-chain. There is a transaction for everything. The logic is open source, and you can visibly see what is going on inside the tool and all that. And again, when you're talking about $10, it isn't necessarily the interesting things, but these kind of things can also be used to be running large applications in the DeFi space where it could be tens of millions. And security and resilience becomes way more important in those sections. So I'm going to switch probably to the live screen of Hashio DAO. This URL is live and it is actually on mainnet. So if you want to switch over. Thank you.
Sure, awesome. And sorry to cut you off, Ian. Just before you keep going, I just want to let everyone in the audience know that the comments section on YouTube and on X is being monitored. So if anyone has any questions for the speakers, ask them in the comments section and they will answer them if they want to. So Ian, you can keep going.
Cool. And okay. So one of the key things about this is that it's 100% open source. So if you look at the very bottom of the screen, you'll see that the user interface and the smart contracts are linking into GitHub repositories. So you can see the source code that is being used. There is nothing saying you can't fork the code and tweak it and run your own version of this. There is no licensing. It's all open source and it's designed to do that. So if you don't like the logo, you don't think the blue is the right color for you, you can fork it, you can do whatever. Okay, so there's nothing saying that you can't do it. This is more, it's usable as is, but you can expand it yourself. You can do that, and this patch is welcome. The other link on here, which is also critical, is it has the contracts have been audited. So not only are we using industry standard contracts like Gnosis Safe and Open Zeppelin smart contracts in our code, but we also got them audited again, and that audit is public, it's linked, and it's on there. And these kind of things are critical when you use third-party tools, just to make sure that they're not there just to do stuff or to take your money or to rug you, as the expression goes. Okay, so the moment waiting for, the way you create a DAO is fairly simple. And you basically hit create new DAO. Hopefully you can read this. I'll just make the screen a little bit larger for those people who have challenges. So hopefully there. So basically we have T's and C's in there. I agree to the decisions. Basically I'm doing this all care, no responsibility type stuff. You go next, it basically brings you up with a couple of details. I'm going to call this the, okay. Okay, I need a logo. This is always the hard part. Okay, so I'm just searching for a logo. Of course, when I search, it shows me rubbish. I should have done this before. Okay, and again, if you do this yourself, you can change it. It's got a cool logo and your main website where you want this to go. Okay, now the choices here are important. There's different ways you can make decisions. And the first one is how, or basically what group of people are you doing? So typically you can have it so the owners of this of a given token are the ones who get to vote. So it's basically one token, one vote. You can have a multi-sig where it's an account. So that a multi-sig is used for like groups of 10 people or something like that. So it's a smaller thing, more homey. And typically those things are fairly well understood and there's different multi-sig implementations out there. But those are used for smaller numbers of people. And you can also have an NFT, one NFT, one vote. And with NFTs, you can make them non-transferable. You can give them to members of a group and stuff like that. So the ownership can be controlled. And that is one of the ways that you can control who actually belongs inside the group. So it's tokens, multi-sig, or NFTs. I'm going to create a governance token for this. Okay, I'm going to call it ComDAO. Okay, I'll give it the same logo. I'm going to do 1 million of them. And here I'm just going to put my wallet back in. So give me 1 second. Why is it? Yeah, this is live, guys. So this is why you've got the delays.
Ian, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
If I can, while you're doing this. So the create a token, the system actually allows you to create it. So this is an all-in-one system for launching a DAO. It's not just a voting mechanism. It's an all-in-one system where you can come here, create the token, create everything, and launch your DAO literally in a few seconds. Is that what I'm seeing here? This is amazing.
That's correct. And again, you can also use an existing token. So
yep.
What this will do is it will basically mint 1 million of this token, which is a HTS token, and put them in your wallet or the wallet that you suggest. And then you can then distribute them out to however you want. So there's still that component. Now there's 100 different ways that you can distribute tokens. You can do airdrops, you can do membership, you can, basically do flyers, in the shopping mall if you choose. So we've chosen not to automate that stuff. That's up to you. But when I go hit create token, it will go through and it is now asking me to approve a transaction on my wallet. And fingers crossed, because demos are wonderful things. Look, it worked. I love demos. And that token is created. So from a minimum, you can actually just use it for this. And it's just created a token. Now, saying that Hashpack has similar functionality inside of it, and there's other ways. Again, I'm not here to sell that you must use this. It's more just you can use whatever you want. Okay, hit next. Okay, now the voting duration is an important thing. For me, based on experience, I say a voting quorum of 20% is probably good. We're in a live call, so I'm going to do 60 seconds. Don't touch delay period if you don't know what it means, but fundamentally, with some governance, you want the vote to be out and present before people can actually vote on it. So that's what it's for. So some of the tweaks, and again, these are some of the tools which are out there. Okay, and now it's basically saying, are you sure? It's basically giving me all the details about how I want to set up the governance. I hit submit, and it should give me 2 things to press it to approves. And it's executing now, so it's just done 1, and it's executing the smart contract. So it's doing an allowance, and it's executing the smart contract as we speak. And we should see the token come up on here. Should be there. There it is, community call DAO. So I now have a new DAO, and I can now send those tokens to whomever I choose, and they can be part of it. Now, one of the key things here that we do is we're not using snapshots, and we're doing everything live. And again, it's a choice. And one of the things that you want to do live, if you want to do voting live, is you have to actually put your tokens into a vault. Now, we've got a default vault in here. There's nothing saying that this can't be a vault where you accrue rewards or you do other things, but they have to be locked up for the period of the vote. So I'm just going to go and put some of the COM token that I own into this, put in half, and I'm just going to lock it up. And it's just going through. Obviously, with demos, things aren't as fast as you like, but I have now basically deposited, and I am ready to use the DAO. Now, again, it's not really fun if there's nothing really in the DAO to vote with. So let's go and put some assets into the treasury. How am I going for time, guys? Am I still good? Hopefully I am. Okay, so I need to associate a token on here. So I'm going to hit associate token, and it gives me a proposal to actually associate a token. So if I basically want to, just pulling up the token ID, put in a proposal. I'm not very good with names, as you can see. Now, this could be a link to the forum.io or to whatever forum software that you use to discuss this. We chose not to write our own. Don't know why cut and pasting takes so long on this, but anyway, hitting next, hit submit. Okay, and I'll approve. Just waiting for the chain to approve it. Still waiting for the chain to approve it. Okay, part 1, part 2. Now, this is a quirk or a convenience feature for Hedera. We don't like spam tokens, so we make it so that you have to associate the token before you can use it. So what we've done is we've allowed the DAO, or we're putting up a proposal to actually allow this token. As you can see, the proposal has come up now. No one voted yet, so let's do that. So I'm going to vote. I'm going to go yes. I have to be quick on this because it's only got a minute. So I voted yes. It's executing. It's just going through. Vote has been cast. You should see a turnout of 50% because it's looking like that. And this will end in half a minute. So I'll just go off the page. Okay, so it's sitting there at 9:17 or 9:18. That will end. Okay. Now, in the meantime, there's other types of proposals that I can write. I can write a text proposal. So this is more what they call a signaling proposal. Hey, I want John to wear a blue shirt. And we can basically, yeah, blue's cool. And we as a community can decide that we want John to wear a blue shirt. Now, we can't really force John to wear a blue shirt, but we can say the community really wants this to happen. And then John can look at it and say, well, I was going to wear a red shirt tomorrow, but people want blue. So I'm going to go and do that. That's what they call a signaling proposal. It literally carries no weight, but it basically tells people what the group wants. The other types of proposals, obviously, is an associate, which we've just done. And this it's passed, yay us. And now I'm going to execute. Okay, and I've got a made-up token on here called the DAO. This could have been the source of swap token. It could have been H_X. It could have been an LP token. It could have been whatever you choose. Okay, so that has been passed through. The proposal has been executed. If I now go back into my treasury and hit deposit, I should have shown this before, I have now got the DAO. So I can basically put 100 the DAO in here. I'm doing that. It's going back to my wallet to approve the transaction. So I'm sending 100 of this token into the treasury. Now, once it's in the treasury, I can now put a proposal to send it to other people. So, for example, I want John to do some work for me. He wants to get paid for some reason, and he wants to get paid in the DAO. So what I can do is I can basically send that, and that brings up a proposal for me to send it to John. Now, everybody has to agree. So if you think about how grants work, hey, I've got this wonderful thing. I want to go and build a bridge in Brooklyn or where was a place where it went down? One of those, it wasn't Philly, it was one of the other places. We need to build a bridge. We've got these people here want to do it for $1 million. Do we want to give $1 million, yay or nay? This is where you can make those decisions, and the community can decide how they spend their money. So that's it. So that's basically the gist of it. I'm not going to do a token transfer, but it works exactly the same way as the associate does. And as you can see, it's fairly, well, I think it's intuitive, but I wrote it, so it's intuitive for me. But it is fairly simple to use. There is no command line thing. There is nothing. Everything is in there. Every transaction that you do is available as a transaction, so you can actually see them and so on. So, yeah. Any questions so far?
I don't think there's been any questions in the community for this, but I have a question. So this was an incredible demo for DAO tooling in the ecosystem. So is this for anyone to use? I know we've had a lot of working groups on the network that probably would definitely want to utilize this, but is it available for anyone to use at this moment? Is it live?
It's live, and surprisingly, I am not inventive enough to create H Barbarian and Kabila or the Pineapple Pizza Party. Actually, that's an Australian political government. There is actually a Pineapple Pizza Party in Australia that you can vote for. I don't know if they got a seat or not, but this is live. People are using it today. The ones that I have created are these two. Okay. And
well, I think this is really cool, Ian. I mean, we deal with like DC DAO and Austin DAO, City DAO. There's a lot of DAOs that I think that this tool we can bring these city DAOs onto, because to your point, it's like whenever something happens and you need kind of this escrow tool managed by a community, this actually has all the components of that, which I think is one of the missing components. So every DAO tool that I've seen to this point doesn't have that escrow component to it. And I think of all the features that you guys have baked in here, which are all really cool, that one to me seems like the most enabling tool within this tooling set. So that's super exciting, Ian. I'm really glad you guys built this the way you did. Very cool.
Yeah. And again, because it's open source, if you want to switch out the vault for something which gives rewards out or do other things, then the code's there to do that. It's great if you can push it back as a pull request or something, but there's no need. That's the joy of open source. You don't have to if you don't want to. But the aim here is this is a building block that others can potentially use. If they want to implement snapshot functionality inside of it, they can do that as well. And these are some of the things that we're doing. So we've left it for the community or for others to be able to enhance and for them to meet their own needs. Because I'm not all knowing. I have no idea what other people want in life for their tooling, so they can do that themselves.
It sounds like you got a lot of it right, though. It sounds like you figured out a lot of it with this tool right here, because I can't think of a lot more that would be needed out the gate to really have a strong DAO opportunity to launch a strong DAO with a tool that kind of works out the gate.
Well, thanks,
so
John.
Great work.
Thanks.
More fireworks for you. Will it give me more fireworks?
It was only $50. I've only got $50 on me, so just with the compliments, there's only so much I can give you. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm glad that we have it. And the key thing is that this enables people to basically focus on their strategic things. So if you're basically building something, this is more seen as a tactical thing for a lot of companies. They need it and it's important, but it's not going to really change the token value. It's not going to change the world by doing this. They need it, but they do it. So if we have this for them, they can use this and they can focus on building the best loan app or DeFi app or blue t-shirt printing app. Or whatever they want, they can do this.
Well, Ian, I would propose to you that, so you know how we have the credit union component, and credit unions are democratically controlled, democratically run organizations. And one of the tooling sets that's been missing is an easy way to vote on proposals, is an easy way to kind of, whether that's voting on new board members or voting on. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to have a component of this that we start to bring into credit unions. For example, next year at NACUSO, there's some voting stuff for voting on the board of the NACUSO event, and Becky's the chairman, and she's already committed that next year we're going to do the vote through the BankSocial wallet, and now we're going to use this tool and we're going to distribute a NACUSO token. We already have this. This is already happening. We're going to distribute a NACUSO token through the BankSocial wallet, and then everybody can come in here and vote on the proposal for who's going to be the next board member, how we're going to run the next event. We're going to make it a community-run thing. So this is really exciting. We're really excited about this.
Oh, that's awesome, John. I literally just did not know that. It's great to see the tool, the tools and all that kind of stuff being used like that. And yeah, it helps. It basically helps Hedera, the Hedera community to basically do things and do it on Hedera. And yeah, DAO is a service for credit unions, LFG. I'm not going to say what that stands for.
We say it stands for let's freaking grow. That's what we say.
There you go. Because I don't swear in real life, so I don't want to do it on. No, I'd never fucking swear. No, that would be rude.
Ian, this has been such an amazing demo. Everyone is so excited about it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Cool. And if you want to get in contact with me, just go through Mika and she can connect, or if you need to find me. So I'll shut up now.
Yes, definitely. Ian, do you have a link to this so that people can check it out?
Yeah, it's hashio.dao.swirlds.com. I'm not sure where to put. I'll put the link in our chat because I can't connect it up to YouTube.
I posted it in the comments, and we will add it to the description. So anyone watching this video in the future, you'll see the link in the description of the YouTube video.
Cool. Thanks, Mika. That was great.
No, you did great, Ian. Thank you.
Thanks. You doxed yourself today as well. So it's a big day. So congratulations.
It's a big day. It's a big day. Amazing. Ian, thank you so much for the incredible demo. This was so awesome to see live. I think the community really appreciated it.
Cool.
And now we'll move on to John. So John, you also have a demo. I think you have some news to share. So I'll give you the floor and let you take it away.
All right. Thank you so much. So, yep, bank yourself. Bank yourself. I'll be giving away a couple more T-shirts. We already gave a couple T-shirts away. DeFi Credit Union, bank yourself. So everybody heard yesterday. I won't spend too much time on the credit union because we did talk about that yesterday. But I will drop a little more alpha for the BankSocial token holder. So anybody who didn't hear yesterday, we've been working with a credit union. We were initially launching our own credit union. I posted in our chat room yesterday, actually, our approvals from the NCUA on our field of membership and a couple other details that we got approved. We actually posted the letters on the letterhead of the NCUA, so everybody knows that this is all legit and this is not just. So we're creating the first member-owned banking institution called DeFi. We're going to call it a member-owned banking institution. It's technically a credit union, and it's 100% Web3. So not only is it meant to serve Web3 natives, people who want access and they're Web3 natives, it's going to be built 100% on Web3 and on Hedera specifically. And while the wallet and while our tooling system is multi-chain, everything that happens with regard to tokenization, lending, paybacks of loans, tokenization of the deposits, all of that is going to be happening on Hedera and on through the HTS tokening system, whether that's through fungible, non-fungible, and we've even got some components that are quite complex that'll use smart contracts. And then, of course, HCS with the AppNet. We have tons of features that are using HCS with the AppNet concept. And so, for example, we've got RTP and FedNow connectivity. We're actually, I think, the only Web3 company that's got both connected into credit unions at this point. And all that is checking to HCS as a HCS mechanism. But I have one more piece of information about the credit union and about the BankSocial DAO that I'll give out right now, and then we'll move into what we really came to talk about, which is Secura and the kind of demo of Secura. We've been talking with the credit union, and we'll bring the CEO, the guy who we've tapped to be the CEO of the credit union. He was actually on a Spaces a few weeks back with Genfinity. We did a Spaces a few weeks back with Genfinity, and he came on that call. And we'll bring him back up so we can talk about how excited he is. But what we were able to do was, through these discussions, is talk about utilizing the DAO funding and the DAO loan mechanism to fund loans through the credit union. And so this is actually something that is looking like we're going to be putting up a proposal. So it's all community based. So this will all be based on if the community ends up voting to move forward with it. Certainly, though, there'll be a proposal that'll be coming out on the DAO mechanism, and we'll be voting on that to see if the DAO participants want to utilize the lending funds in the social lending pool to put that into a credit union mechanism that will allow it to do these small PALS loans. But we can talk about that more later. We came to talk about the Secura NFT. So I'll give a quick background on myself and what BankSocial is. So I'm a longtime entrepreneur, software developer. Actually, this team behind me, the guys behind me, we've worked together for a long time. They're all software developers and engineers. They've worked at the Department of Defense. They've worked in third-party logistics, payment systems, commerce, omni-channel commerce. So quite extensive in the Web 2 world, and we were all introduced to Bitcoin very early on, in May of 2010, actually, when one of our other developer friends, associates, was leaving the company that we all worked for, and he introduced us to Bitcoin all at the same time, and we've all been super interested in it. So around 2021, I created BankSocial, and very quickly we started looking at how we could create a DAO mechanism to manage BankSocial token, the BSL token. We got that done. We got our first loans out. We started looking at right near the beginning of 2022 how we could create a credit union ourselves. And if you guys look at the documents we posted yesterday, you'll kind of see the timelines. And so now we're kind of ending those initial discoveries, and it's turning into an actual credit union. So we're super excited and thrilled, and I'm really thrilled about what we're about to show you right now, because we believe that Secura, while our wallet is the most, if you go look on our security page, you'll see that our wallet has the highest level of policy, procedures, and security mechanisms built into it already, in the form of all the systems that are connected to it, and the wallet itself, top notch when it comes to security. We do penetration testing, we do all types of external testing, and we publish those results so that it's not just us making claims. And remember, since we integrate, we are the self-custody wallet of American credit unions, and because we are integrated at this point, I think we're in the process of getting our 23rd or 24th credit union in the pipeline integrated. Because of that, we have a much higher level of threshold level of scrutiny that we have to go through to prove to credit unions that we have a robust and secure wallet or ecosystem that they can plug into. So what I'll do now is I'd like to, if we can bring up the web page, we'll talk about Secura. So I'm going to go through the website really quickly. We'll talk about the NFT mint, and then we'll actually go into a demo, some screenshots, and a little bit more details on exactly what the essentials, the Secura tag, and then we'll go into a real deep dive on DREC, which I'm really excited to show everybody right now. So let's talk about the mint. So on May 6th, we've got our INO. It's our initial NFT offering. And these are utility NFTs. So all these NFTs actually come with, they're tied to a component of the product set. And there are 3 product sets here, and these are what we are calling bank grade self-custody. So because we integrate with banking institutions in the form of credit unions, and we do it in a self-custody way only, we're titling this bank grade self-custody. And so the 3 components here, the first is DREC, decentralized recovery, and we'll go into exactly what that is and what that means here in a second. But with the first NFT, you get the 2-year subscription to DREC. You can DREC up to 1,000 wallets. You get a lifetime discount on all BankSocial and Secura products. Of course, it will unlock exclusive access to features in the ecosystem, and then holding the token will get you a BSL weighted airdrop that will come out after the token mint. The middle tier here is the Secura tag. This is a non-subscription based, so you buy the device one time and it integrates with the wallet security mechanism, physical security mechanism of the wallet. It comes with a Secura tag, so you can redeem the NFT in-app for a Secura tag. It also comes with a discount, exclusive access to features, and then of course the weighted airdrop. And then Secura Essentials is the final component to the ecosystem, the Secura ecosystem. It comes with a 2 years Essentials subscription. That's going to put real-time AI ML threat detection with several third-party integrations right at your fingertips, actually working behind the scenes and working in real time, even when you're not watching the wallet. We know that, for example, we've seen people lose their key. So, one of the things that we've seen is people importing their wallet into our wallet. maybe had those keys on other wallets and they don't know how those other wallets were compromised, or if there were issues with it, with another wallet they were migrating from some other ecosystem outside of the Hedera community. Since we are a multi-chain wallet, I think we're the only we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, and about to launch Solana and a few other tokens. But all the tooling that you see and everything we build with our credit union partners that power the Web3 experience is all built on Hedera. The only thing we build as connectivity to other chains is really just for holding tokens in the self-custody wallet. We don't build any features or any Web3 tooling on any chain except for the Hedera network. And then if you hold all three tokens, you get the Founders Edition. You'll get airdrop the Founders Edition. And this one comes with 2.5% royalty on all secondary NFT sales. You get exclusive access. And then, of course, you get a multiplied BSL weighted airdrop. And then you can hold multiple Founders Editions. There will be a limit on mints. We've been listening to the community, and there will be a limit on the number of mints that we allow individual wallets to do, just so there's a fair access to the mint. All right, so now let's get to the actual product. Let's show you guys some screenshots of what this thing actually looks like. So I'm going to come here and do this. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. Secura. So we're calling Secura multi-chain, bank grade, self-custody. So on top of our bank grade wallet, self-custody wallet, we've built this additional security mechanism. And people have been asking why doesn't it just come with the wallet? Well, frankly, everything we've built with the wallet, we give away for free. So our all the penetration testing and all those things that we do on an ongoing basis, those are already included in the wallet. You don't have to do anything. So the most robust and resilient self-custody wallet is already for free. What Secura adds are things like AI, ML, and AI and machine learning are just things that cost money to run, sometimes significant amounts of money to run. And so because of that, there is a small fee. So if you don't get the Founders Edition mint, or if you don't get the Secura Essentials mint, or you don't get one of the mints, these tools will open up. You'll just not get the features included with that initial NFT launch. So let's talk first about Secura Essentials. So Secura Essentials is a always on, around the clock wallet protection tool. So on top of our secure wallet, multi-chain wallet, we built this AI ML engine that is constantly monitoring incoming, outgoing, and DApp connections in real time. A lot of people don't understand, but when you create a DApp connection, that DApp connection actually persists. And so there is a need to constantly be monitoring and removing, and sometimes people forget to do that. And so what we've built here with Secura Essentials is something that is always doing that. It's monitoring, and it's not just on Hedera monitoring, it's multi-chain monitoring. So all the wallets and all the chains and all the tokens and assets you hold in your wallet, in the BankSocial wallet, can be monitored by this AI ML engine to reduce and in most cases eliminate the attacks on your wallet. We have some future cases where one button push migrations, if your wallet is under attack. We've seen a lot of people, like our BankSocial token, for example, was one of the first tokens that I know of that implemented a recovery mechanism. We've recovered over $1 million of BankSocial token for people who've had their signed into some DApp. That DApp took control of their wallet, started transferring out assets, and we were able to recover those assets. We're turning that into AI ML decisioning in the wallet so that it can do even more in real time than any intervention would have to do outside of the wallet. And then we've partnered with companies like Chainalysis. So if you know anything about Chainalysis is the company that's helped tons of FBI cases get closed, and really all the on-chain analytics. We were one of the first to implement the Hedera component that they just recently launched. They actually launched it as a result of us pushing them to say, hey, let's get Hedera out the door, because we really need that for our community, and we really need that for everything we're going to be building with our tokenized assets in the DeFi credit union, and all those components we're building with other credit unions for tokenizing those assets into this Web3 ownership model. And so that's what you get with Secura Essentials, auto actions and wallet notices, a complete hardening of the self-custody wallet, and then real-time monitoring and wallet scanning. So with the tools, I mean, if you guys know anything about kind of on-chain analytics, you can analyze the entirety of a wallet. You can analyze every transaction that a wallet has made, or even transactions that other wallets have made. And we have the ability, with the technology tooling we made, to analyze up to 30 million transactions around your wallet in near real time to provide this active threat defense and threat monitoring in near real time on the wallet. And so we're super excited about Secura Essentials because of what it provides. But let's talk about the Secura tag, because one of my favorite components of this is the physical component. And so what we believe is that single factor and dual factor are really, at this point, I think there's recommendations that if you're not a multi-factor ecosystem, that you're severely at threat of your consumers and your members, your customers being at risk of their whatever you're utilizing, a single factor or even a two-factor authentication. I think even two-factor authentication, especially if it's tied to cell phone or email only. If you have two-factor that's tied to, there's basically the ability to spoof a SIM swap. You can do SIM swap. I mean, phone, telephone, email, those are highly insecure mechanisms alone for securing, and especially if we're talking about securing financial institution or securing a bank in your pocket, definitely not the only components you need. And so Secura tag becomes a multi-factor that takes multi-factor authentication to the next level. Auto pairing, easy to configures in just a few seconds. And then you have this additional multi-factor in your wallet that, we see a lot of systems that, they're big and bulky, you got to pull them out of your wallet. The technology, the ability to do multi-factors and chain them together makes it so that you should and can do a more intuitive type of experience with regard to multi-factor. And that's what Secura tag is aiming for and really solves, in our opinion. And so the cool thing about this is there's no monthly fee to Secura tag. Once you buy the tag, you get all the future features and updates of the Secura tag. It works seamlessly with DREC and Essentials to provide additional enhancements in the form of a multi-factor. And then there's some proximity pieces built in. And then it gives you complete wallet control. Your wallet is basically unusable when you're not around. And that's really, really exciting. And then coming into kind of the third component here, DREC. So DREC is kind of the crown jewel of the Secura ecosystem. And the reason why we believe it's the crown jewel of the Secura ecosystem is because of what it does in the form of mitigating the cold wallet and the warm wallet. So the warm wallet, the challenge with the warm wallet is the same challenge you have with the cold wallet. The warm wallet and the cold wallet both require you to keep a copy of your seed phrase. They both require you to back up that seed phrase and keep it in a plain text state, or maybe it may be just an encrypted state, but typically that's tied to like an iCloud. So if somebody gets access to your phone, if somebody gets access to your device, they know your PIN code, they can get access to your iCloud. They now have the ability to decrypt or see your seed phrase. And so the Secura product set, we're coming up with what we call a new type of, so it's about getting the seed phrase, because a lot of times whenever people create a wallet, so our new wallet creation, which we'll be releasing a video of our new wallet here in the next couple of days, our one-click wallet creation, people don't want to have to worry. If you're onboarding the next 50 million, my grandmother, my mother, they don't want to see this thing called the seed phrase and be told that if they lose this thing, that's it, their life is over. They don't want that. How do you combine the ability to give them the security that they need, the resiliency that they need, right? And package that together in an intuitive format while bridging people to self-custody. That's what Secura is solving with these three components, and namely with DREC. And so with our patent pending decentralized recovery tool, you never have to worry about losing that key or that passphrase again, because not only do you not have to write it down, but we distribute that. And I'm going to talk about how we do that here in a second. We'll go through the mechanics of how we do that. But you'll never lose your key again, because it's only retrievable by you. And then we layer it with quantum resistant cryptography in several different places, so that it's always available back to you, and you never have to remember your seed phrase again. But you're also not stuck just putting it behind an email or just putting it behind a phone number. You have a multi-factor and intuitive multi-factor framework that sits in front of it to protect it. So how does DREC work? Let's talk really quickly about how DREC works, because I think this is the coolest part of the ecosystem. So as you guys know, partnering with credit unions gives us the ability to do so much, okay? Because credit unions, I think James, who's going to be the CEO of DeFi Federal Credit Union, because James said on our last call that never in the history of credit unions has a single member lost any money. Never, I'm going to say it again, never in the history of credit unions has a single member lost any money. That goes to the resiliency, the reliability, and the ability for this ecosystem to withstand really probabilistically whatever can be thrown at it. And so let's demonstrate now the high level of how Secura works, Secura DREC works. So when you first set up your Secura DREC, you're selecting multi-factors, one of which can be the Secura tag. These are things that are only ever stored on your device and in your head, and you can change them at any time, right? And because they're multi-factors and a myriad of multi-factors, not just one or two, they all have to be present. Now, there are ways to swap these out and ways to get new ones. You can change them at any time. You're not baked into this. But the multi-factor component of this, as the on-ramp of it, makes it highly secure, because no longer are you bound to just a phone number, just an email, or just a PIN code. So what's next? After you create these multi-factors, what happens next? Well, then we take your seed phrase, and without going too much into the details of exactly how the algorithms and everything behind the scenes works, we put a little magic on it, and we take your seed phrase and we turn it into this garbled mess of data, a blob of data that really is starting to mean nothing. Now, this is all done on your device. This hasn't left your device yet. This is all happening within the security of the app and your device. Once we do that, we take another really cool step, and this is kind of where the real magic of DREC happens, is we take that blob of data, which has already kind of turned into something that is really secure, and we basically turn it into more meaningless, tiny meaningless fragments of data. So they don't mean anything. At this point, these data elements don't mean anything. At this point, after 2 layers of obfuscation, you are highly resistant to any type of attack. And this all has happened on your device. And so now we've got your seed phrase. We've turned it into this blob of irrelevant data. And now we've chunked it down into these little tiny fragments, meaningless fragments of your seed phrase, all on your device, okay? And if you thought that was secure, just wait until you hear what we do next. So then we do a little bit more magic, and we generate a quantum secure hash for each one of your key fragments. And what you end up getting, in this case, we'll just show 5. What you end up getting is you end up getting these 5 micro fragments of some blob that was at some point your seed phrase, okay? And here's where the really cool piece is. We take each one of those meaningless fragments that have been multi-layer encrypted on your device. We take them from your phone and we distribute them directly to credit unions, those fragments. Each one of those fragments goes directly to a credit union. And we further obfuscate it so that no credit union knows whose key is whose by utilizing that unique quantum resistant hash key to obfuscate. So even if somebody was able to get all of your fragments, even if it had the same hash key, they really, because of the multi-layer encryption that we do, they still wouldn't be able to get your key. But even if they did, let's say somebody had a quantum computer and they were able to get all of your key fragments, they wouldn't be able to find them and put them back together because we've created a unique hash key for each one of these at each institution. And so there's no way for anybody to ever recover, except for you, your key and your passphrase. And then what we really love about it is that it's multi-chain. So since we built this in partnership with the DREC Alliance, this can work with any passphrase. It doesn't even have to be BIP 39. So eventually this could protect other data elements. So just imagine a digital lockbox. So the old concept of a lockbox where you, or a security deposit box where you went in there and you put secret data in there. Just imagine in the future being able to put any data into Secura DREC and putting it into resilient credit unions. So coming back to that, the credit unions being able to stand up for a long time. The other cool thing that I think I forgot to say was that even if half of your keys get lost, the way that we built this, even if half of your keys get lost and are unrecoverable, we can still recover your key through the magic that we talked about earlier. And so we're very, very excited about Secura. A lot of our credit unions that are already launched, our BankSocial exchange, are extremely excited about Secura, because one of the other cool things about this, if you guys know anything about what we're all about, we talked about it before, Mika, with our social capitalism, our idea of social capitalism, and how companies of the future will have to incorporate this social capitalism model where everybody benefits from the ecosystem, not just the shareholders, but just like a credit union where it's a member-owned banking institution and the beneficiaries are the members. That, we believe, is what the Web3 ownership model fully embraces and fully can bring forward to the world. And so what the other thing that your Secura subscription pays for is it actually pays the credit unions to maintain those nodes. And then those fees go back to the members. So the credit union, that we create this complete ownership model where it's people helping people, helping people, helping people. There is no, with the exception of our organization, which we are called a QSO. So our company has a special entity type called a QSO. It's a special designation, and that stands for a Credit Union Service Organization. And as a credit union service organization, you are designated to help credit unions. And because of that, you get some special abilities, like you can take investments from credit unions. And we did this because we really believe in the ownership economy. And we really believe that there should be no ultimate massive shareholder at the top that's just pulling all the value back to shareholders. We believe that there is, based on Web3 and the ownership economy, the ability to do this distributed economic model, these microeconomies, and where we can all share in the value that we create together. And Secura DREC is really one of the linchpins in bringing forward this ownership economy. Because we're doing it with member-owned banking institutions, we believe that this exactly fits the ethos that we're bringing forward, and we're super excited about being able to demonstrate this to the world and to launch it here very quickly.
Wow. That's amazing.
Incredible. Everyone in the comments is super excited about this. This is really incredible technology, and it's so awesome to see you using the Hedera technology and the DREC technology and creating a product that really brings the crypto ethos to the masses, not only individuals, but institutions. So that is super cool. And I think we also got a few questions. So I've compiled them in the private chat if you want to go through them and maybe choose to answer a few of them.
Yep. So we are not. I'm not a proponent of cold wallets or or hot wallets. I think that they both have their upsides and downsides. It really depends on how much. I have no cold wallets. Back in 2015, 2014, I had a cold wallet, a Ledger, a Nano, or a Trezor, or whatever. I can't remember what I had. Had a couple of them. Didn't like using any of them. Not a fan of the cold wallet. Not to say that cold wallets can't evolve and become more intuitive. Just right now, I don't see value and benefit. So all my wallets are warm wallets. So we do see though this actually hot wallet. We do see this new warm wallet, this kind of middle ground between a cold wallet and a hot wallet, being this evolution forward, where remembering the seed phrase or having to rely on you remembering or writing down in plain text a seed phrase being your only safety net or your biggest kind of risk factor. So DeFi, will it be NCUA insured? Yes. So by default, DeFi Credit Union will have NCUA insurance associated to it. Now, that's not to say that everything that happens within a credit union is 100% insured, right? So there are instruments, there are types of tools that won't get insurance. So don't take that to mean that everything that happens in the DeFi Federal Credit Union or what we're pulling together with James will be 100% insured. But yes, DeFi will have a component that is NCUA insured. Absolutely. So the Secura tag. So the Secura tag, very simple. Once the NFT is presented in your wallet, you'll be able to request. It'll basically put up a shipping information. Your shipping is included in your NFT and is included when you buy a Secura tag after the NFTs are sold out. And then the NFT or the Secura tag will be mailed to you once you redeem that on chain. So I wouldn't call it a cold storage wallet. We're calling it a warm wallet. We're calling it a multi-factor. It's got some proximity components built in it. It does create some unique key components with some of the technology that it has on it. So we're using that in a novel and new way to bring forth this new concept of a warm wallet. We are partnered with Saucer Swap. We have launched on their decks. We do love everything that they do. There are some other great partners and products out there as well. I won't name them because then the people I don't name would get mad at me. But we love a lot of the products out there. There are some really great products on the Hedera ecosystem and great communities on the Hedera ecosystem. And I'm sure if I started naming them off, we could sit here for a few minutes just naming off great products. So partner credit union is going to push out Secura to existing customers as part of the upgrade. Yes. So the whole idea here is that we have been demonstrating. So if you guys have been watching, I haven't done a great job, but over the past few months, I've talked at several conventions, several large credit union conventions. So I think just 3 in the last couple of weeks, and each one of them, I think I posted a picture on the last one that I did, and there were 160, 150. It was standing room only. There were 140 chairs, standing room only. Had 20, 30 people kind of outlining the area. And the whole idea is, how do we bring in the younger generations through this idea of ownership? How are we rebranding? Because the credit unions, we call them analog DeFi. We think that credit unions are analog DeFi because they're collaborative, they're cooperative. They're not like the big banks that are competing. They can't compete because of that thing called the field of membership. They have to have complementary services. And what we find is that people actually have 4 or 5 different accounts. I mean, Mika, how many bank accounts do you have? Do you just have one account?
Definitely not. I can't even count right now.
There you go. There you go. And so nobody just has one account. And that's what we've been helping credit unions understand. And with the CFPB, so Micah, so not you, Mika, Micah, the rules coming out of the EU for open banking, and then the CFPB rules here in the United States, there's actually a quote from Rohit Chopra, who's the deputy director, I believe, of the CFPB. And he says, I quote him, this is not me making this up, open and decentralized. He uses both those words. Where am I at? Right here. He uses the words open and decentralized together because he knows that opening up, or I believe he knows that opening up more APIs and centralized systems cannot sustain the coming wave of what AI fraud and what all these new tooling sets are going to do to opening up more APIs. And really, we need to go to a direct peer-to-peer ownership model. And there's no better way to do that than with underpinnings that are based on decentralized ledgers. And so what we're talking about with credit unions is this entirely new model of rebranding and re-enabling because a lot of these credit unions are relying on technology that's maybe 40, 50, 60 years old at this point, just being rebranded as in a new name or in a new brand. Credit unions, just like kind of Africa went from landlines to cell phones within a decade because they didn't have all this middle technical debt that they paid for that they couldn't justify. Credit unions are in a similar position. They've been in their technology stacks for upwards of 25, 30, 40 years in some cases, and they're ready and able to embrace the thing they already do. They're already member-owned banking institutions. They already embody everything that the Web3 ethos embodies as well. It's a perfect match. And so we're going around and talking to credit unions about how these future systems, what BankSocial, what our company BankSocial is building, can empower that. And the BankSocial DAO and DeFi Credit Union is a manifestation, is a first manifestation of a full end-to-end, built from the ground up Web3, not just for Web3 people, but on Web3 technologies, right? And just like when we went from Web 1, I want to be clear about this because there's a lot of confusion. Just like when we went from Web 1 to Web 2, when we went from the read economy to the write economy, we didn't throw everything from Web 1 away. We layered Web 2 on top of it. And that's what's going to happen here. We're layering Web 3 on top of Web 2 and Web 1 technologies with the primary focus of putting this ownership economy into the only financial institutions, or really the only institutions that can create the underpinning, the underlying framework for a resilient, open, decentralized, and for the people financial model. I think an interesting stat about the United States, and I know we're getting a little over on time, so I'll shut up here in a second. But an interesting stat is that 130 million people in the United States have a credit union account. But the total, that tells me that a lot of people believe in what a credit union stands for. Only $2.4 trillion, which is the size of altogether the size of a top 10 bank altogether. The reason why is they can't take advantage of it because they're lacking in technology. They're lacking in experience, in the user experience. And that's where we're making a tremendous headway with our credit union partners in this open banking movement powered by Web3 and Hedera to bring forth this entirely new wave and a new member experience with new members that want to believe and that already believe that the ownership economy, the Web3 model, and a system by the people for the people is the way they want to move forward.
Incredible. You have such an amazing vision, and you're so talented at sharing that vision with everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, I don't know about that. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for this presentation. I think everyone in the comments is super excited. This has been such a great community call. This was such a great demo on your part, John, and Ian as well. Thank you so much for sharing HashDAOio. I think this was just overall a great way to showcase a few products of the network. And I think this is when we wrap up the call. We've gone a little bit over time. Thank you to the speakers for participating, and a big shout out to the Hedera community. Thank you for being here and for engaging. Thank you for always being so kind-spirited online, and I will see you in the next community call next month. And until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All the love and power, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.